Somerset fielding coach Paul Tweddle runs through a catching specific training session with professional cricketer Ned Leonard. Let's go.
Do some technical catching work, just some things that you want to stay on top of that are specific to you.
Yeah.
What would they be typically for you?
Just keeping as wide surface area as possible, watch the ball right into my hands, making sure my hands are nice in front. I can sometimes get them caught in it, just keeping them nice in front, making sure, watching that ball all the way.
What's your constant battle against for your catching? What are you trying to marry off against the two factors that we're looking for?
Well, I think the main thing for me is I kind of keep them in here. Yeah. I don't keep them out in front.
Yeah.
So trying to keep that and keep a strong body position to make sure I'm balanced. I'm kind of showing that as much as possible.
Yeah, and strong hands. Yeah. Without them becoming tense.
Yeah.
Isn't it as well? So you're constantly trying to battle against making sure that my hands are strong without them getting into a position where they create energy back onto the ball. So they set and they absorb the ball in a strong way without it becoming pushing out and without them coming back in to help you keep the ball in tight.
Yeah.
So we'll just catch 10 balls straight in and we'll change the drill as we go. Ooh, yeah. 5 feet. Go a bit to the right now. Nice. Good catch. Cool, bit to the left. Catch. Yeah, so you'll see there Ned's really relaxing his hands and making sure his thumbs are nice and loose before he's catching that. That's to make sure that he is in a position where he's really getting the balance between having strong hands and also having relaxed hands that allow the ball to come in and that he's still feeling the catch. There is a balance to be had, and for him, making sure that he's setting up and making sure he's relaxed enables him to then push out into a really nice strong position and allow the ball then to hit and absorb, as opposed to him being tense from this position and the ball coming and then it being very hard. There's a really big difference between having hard and hands that move towards the catch and create energy back into the ball versus a hand that sets, that's strong, but then absorbs at the position when the ball hits. Here we go. Oh. Nice. Good. Bury that ball in there. Good. Nice. Good. Good. Nice. Righties. So let's try and do this now with just one step.
So it's going.
Yeah, one step and turn. Good. So you're going to try and stay as much as you can on the inside of that foot. So when it turns, you're trying to keep the weight forward so that I'm not seeing, as soon as I'm seeing this, I'm seeing your weight have to travel back. Yeah. Try and keep it nice and strong.
Okay.
Good. Good. Other side. Again,
Same
same
again.
thing with that foot. Good. Positive weight forward. Good. Good. I think one of the things you have to accept sometimes with catching is that people have got their own methods of doing it. So Ned would be like a few players who actually connect together quite late on in the catch. So some people go early and they'll do all of their work when the ball's arriving with the connection here. Some guys connect quite late with their hands together. Ultimately, they do connect and the fingers do overlap or come next to each other. But it sometimes happens earlier and later. Some of the things you have to be a part of and just allows people to have a natural, personal style of catching rather than fitting them into a box. But there's some non-negotiables about weight and making sure the hands are strong and head position. But I'd think we could do a good job of making sure that people still have their own natural way of doing things because it's going to keep them as relaxed as possible. So Neddy, we're just going to move on now to the weighted balls.
Yeah.
So we're going to do those single-handed,
Okay.
right hand, left hand, alternate 5 either side. Come a bit closer. I'll use the heavy one first.
Just in there.
No, we're going to go turn out.
Okay. Oh, it's a slap.
Let's not use that one. Good. Ja. Good. Other side.
Oh, he's dropped it.
Good.
I'm catching it slightly behind.
Yeah. Good point. Again, keeping that hand nice and positive. Keep it in front so you can see it in your eyes so that it makes it easier for me to watch it in. If it's over here, I have to do a lot of work with my head. If it's in my peripheral vision, it's not only stronger because it's out in front, but I can also see it.
Yeah.
Good. Keep it in front of that knee. That's it. Positive. Good. Good. Okay, stop. So the reason why we use heavier balls, again, I love doing it with younger players especially because it's a great way of them to feel the difference of what happens when the ball comes into your hand and what happens if I'm giving too much or my body is too weak, as Ned will feel, is that force of the ball is going to knock me back. It's going to really give me an idea about how to stay strong with my body and relaxed with my hands, rather than really tight, tense hands and a weak body that's still going to knock me backwards. It's a great way for people to feel the difference, because when you then go back to catching a cricket ball, it feels brilliant and you feel strong, your hands feel big, because I've overloaded it with those heavier balls. So they're a really good addition, I think, to your armoury when you're trying to get someone to feel what that feels like in the hand. So I'm going to move on. So those drills there, we're talking about 100% as your underarms, half volleys as a batter, the things that are going to make you feel really good. Good positions, and should be 10 out of 10 catches. The catch difficulty is relatively low. I'm going to now put it up a little bit of a notch and try and put the catch under pressure by making it less about where the ball goes and give him less cues in terms of where it's going to be. So he has to make some decisions on what his body position is going to look like. So I'm going to go anywhere he can, and I'm also going to make it a little bit more achievable by using the incredible, just to take the pressure off his hands. Oh, Nedley, done you. Sorry. Feel like you can move out of that position if you want to.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to show you which direction it's going. Good, that's better. That's better. Still feel light so I can still step to that side. Good. Keep coming. Okay.
I'd rather that one go in front though.
Hey?
I'd rather that go in front if
Yeah.
I dropped it.
Good, so I like this drill for me because I've got real big control over what sort of standard and level I can put this at. So I can do this drill and make it really challenging for a professional cricketer by how fast I feed, how close I get, but I can also tear it back to make sure it's achievable and that they're getting a decent catch to drop ratio. It's hard enough that they're dropping a few, but it's also easy enough that they can still see the technique transfer from these 100% 10 out of 10 drills into this, and occasionally break down. But that's okay, because they're going to learn from that and then move on. Good. Good. Nice low. As we've gone from 10 out of 10 to a little bit of variability, now a fair amount of variability, but you've also got a little bit of an extra factor to play in as well, which is watching the certain type of shot from the position that I'm going to be in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put you at backward point, and I'm going to use a cut to be able to hit it there. That's it.
Oh, slap.
Same
Good
spot.
slap, that.
Good slaps. Good. So this is where you're going to start to see some of the variability of the catch. So the catch might start coming in a little bit, the position might weaken, potentially because you've gone to the most open style of having the batter hitting the ball. But that's okay, because you can keep monitoring it. The difference between catching fielding-wise and keeping-wise is a little bit more open. You're a little bit more on the move, potentially. The heights and stuff are very different. So the positions and the way we practice it has to replicate that, I think. Sometimes you have to be on the move a little bit more akin to standing back when you're keeping. So you're actually getting used to catching when the ball's travelled further and not always doing it off of 5-yard underarms. You have to let the ball travel a little bit more distance.
Oh, yes.
Great catch. Great catch. Last two, buddy. Good. Strong.
It's in front.
Good in front. Yeah, very good. Nice moving. Good. Okay, well done, mate. Yeah, so when we're talking about catching, more specifically about the body positions that you're looking for, one of the keys there when I'm working with Ned is to make sure that we're making the position at contact very strong and very stable, but that allows some movement. So what I'm talking about is foot. I'm getting very specific over seeing results of what happens in the body and being able to use that to then coach back towards them. So when you typically see someone catching and they might fall off their catch and be a bit weak and the ball come back, you'll see things like the bottom of their feet start to lift up off the floor. That's an indication that potentially at impact, their body weight is starting to force back on them, which means not only does my catch become a little bit more unstable, but it also means that my reach, and especially at slip, my ability to be able to get to balls in front of me becomes a little bit modified, or I find it harder to get at those balls. It's really important, especially at slip, that those balls that are in front here, I have access to. So as that ball's been hit or nicked, my body weight doesn't go back into the heels of my feet, that they stay in the middle, if not a little bit further, so that my body weight can then get out in front. So if you look from side on, you should make sure that you see the shoulder line and the hands line always being relatively in front of your knees, so that you've always got access to balls coming in here. The minute you get a bit too far back, use a bit too much knee bend, your hands then get in between here, and it becomes very difficult to try and get around your knees, or you have to move them out of the way. This is also within people's general kind of style about how they catch. Some people will be a bit wider, some people more narrow, upright, but the general basics are making sure that by the time that ball's being caught, that I'm trying to move as little as I can. I'm trying to stay as still and also being able to have access to the catch. So toes lifting off on the catch are a sign that at some point between the ball being hit or thrown, their body weight is coming back a little bit too much and they're trying to come off of the catch a little bit too early.